guys, this is Matthew cycling around the world. Today we are in Fangcheng, and we are headed to Dongxinchen, across from the border of Vietnam, Mang Sai. Say hello. We're being, say hello, ni hao. I'm leaving the hotel. We've got a short ride, 53 kilometers. It shouldn't be long, but I'm excited. I think today we're gonna be in Vietnam. We're gonna be in Vietnam today. I'm gonna say that. It's 10:30, it's a little bit late, but I rested really well. I'm not feeling very well. You know, this pharmacist is, optometrist. She's an optometrist. She wants to talk. Not sure why that guy's wheeling around his music. It's interesting. I've been in China for 10 years living, and multiple years cycling and riding. And this is the send-off I get? Dreary, gloomy, cloudy? Come on, China. Give me some blue sky, some sunshine. Some come back here. Instead it's like, get out of here. Booting me out the door with some crappy weather. Hopefully no mud today. I have sort of a relevant topic that I'd like to talk about today. The positives and negatives of optimism as a traveler. And I'm not talking about, you know, things might work out. I'm talking about my attitude, which is like steadfast, unabashed, glasses overflowing, pretty much all the time, optimism. Let's take this road for example. It's sort of dirty, straight, fairly uneventful. There's some interesting things happening on the side of the road, but nothing, you know, stunning or touristy. Most people would have a very pessimistic approach to talking about the ride today. Me, on the other hand, I am booking. It's a flat road. I'm moving really good. I've got almost 7.5 kilometers down at a fairly record pace. I'm feeling great. Now, if I fully examine my situation, there's trucks passing me by, but I'm constantly looking in my side view mirror, constantly. And oftentimes when I see big trucks coming, I slide out of the way, but I also optimistically look for eye contact to see if I can exchange a smile with the driver or make some sort of personal connection. So even that negative, there's a positive. The road that comes next. I don't know necessarily the terrain I'm going on today. Yesterday I was surprised by insane amounts of mud. Hello! He just pulled his hand out of his pocket to say hello. Those are funny interactions. That interaction could have very easily been pessimistic. Guy's walking across the street, hands in his pockets, no smile on his face. But I pointed the camera at him, which is sort of an aggressive maneuver. I backed it up with a huge smile and a big wave. Unfortunately, he just pulled his hands out of his pockets to give me a wave back, and his grimace was turning into a grin just as I passed him. So I don't know if I caught it. Maybe I caught it. If I would have hid the camera and rode right past him, that little interaction with a stranger on the side of the road wouldn't have happened. And maybe I would have developed over time a preconceived notion that that guy was a bad guy. Right? By forcing my situation to the positive and pushing my smile on him, I realized he's just a normal guy going through his day. And you can kind of pull out of that guy a joyful moment. He's gonna talk to the first person he runs into and probably say, hey, I saw this really weird Laowai with a big smile on his face, and he waved at me. I mean, there's no way you can turn that into a negative. See, that's my unabashed optimism. Let's just stick to the road here a little longer. As a traveler, does unabashed optimism benefit you more than, say, cautious pessimism? Cautious pessimism is very important. You have to be ready for potential negatives. But if you're constantly looking to the negative, it can really do you a disservice. Up ahead, we might have a hill. It will disrupt my pacing. It'll take me down to a slower speed. It'll make everything joyful about, well, it'll make that aspect, which has been joyful about this section of road, a negative. It'll take it down a notch. It'll make me go slower. And I'll start getting slightly frustrated with the fact that my ride is being slowed down. I can't hold my pace. I'm gonna get to the destination later, and I'm gonna start feeling frustrated. But you know what often happens when you get to hilly roads? You get into beautiful landscapes. And hell, don't you want to go a little slower when you're in a place that's beautiful? You know, twisting a negative or a potential downer into a positive is a good thing. It's always done well, served me well. Even when I got hit by a car and I found myself in the road, broken, not sure what was wrong, but knew that something was wrong, I clung to that. I clung to the fact that this is just a step back. I'll be back on the road. Things are gonna work out. And you know what? Things did work out. And look at me now, you know. If I had had a extremely pessimistic or even naturally pessimistic attitude, I would have thrown in the towel and been like, this is too dangerous, I'm not gonna do it. Since that accident, I rode through multiple countries, thousands and thousands of kilometers, never had a problem at all, and been really happy overall. Unabashed optimism, very good thing to have. Yesterday, and the day before, I got into some mud. This mud was heavy. Hello, ni hao. This mud was just like clay. It bound itself up in my rear tire and my rear gearing, my drivetrain, and it really was frustrating. But through it all, I was looking at happy faces. Kind people were helping me out. I was able to solve problems that I might encounter later on in some more Southeast Asian countries. I'm grateful that I had the problems I had yesterday because I learned something. That's the other thing. Like my accident, anytime I have a problem, on the long term, as long as there's no extreme injury like maybe paralysis or something major, and even then you could probably find a positive angle, whether it's education for other people or whatnot, opportunity to read a lot of books. You can turn almost any potentially troubling situation into something you're thankful for. That is a really, really important skill to have. The ability to twist a negative, contort it, not even contort, contort's too rough of a word, just perceive. This morning I was on YouTube commenting on videos. Thank you guys for the fantastic comments all the time. I came across a video about guys stealing bikes in Europe. You know, those guys that ride around on mopeds with die grinders, and they just go up to somebody's bike and they just start cutting away at that lock. The guy is sitting there watching the guy steal his bike. I was getting so angry, so angry, and that's not my way. I was thinking it would be so cool if you had like a high-powered BB gun, because I know you can't have guns in the UK, but I wonder about a BB gun. And you could shoot the tires out of your own bike, you know? If you could just pop those things and make it difficult for the guy to steal, because they've got weapons and stuff and hammers. You don't want to tussle with those guys, but if you can make your bike into a situation where you can fix it pretty easily, but those guys aren't going to want to hassle with trying to steal it, that might be a good thing. It might even be cool if you had an automatic tire popper in your tire, where if you saw somebody trying to steal it, you could just like sabotage your own trike or your own bike. I was watching those videos and I have to realize, and I think that's another big thing, people think that because they see one video of a guy stealing a bike, every single person out there is trying to steal your bike. I got a lot of messages from people saying Vietnam is going to be a lot more dangerous. Be careful of your phone, be careful of your computers and stuff. And thank you very much. I take that to heart. That is definitely something I need to be aware of. But this is really a beautiful road. Woohoo! Look at this. No, but I'm doing really good on pacing. Today's goal today is to reach the border of Vietnam, and if this road stays like this the whole way, we gonna make it real quick and enjoy the border town. See, positive out of a straight, normal, non-interesting road. Anyways, I was thinking about those thieves, and you know, the problem with social media today is that everybody has a camera, and issues that are so small on the grand scheme of things become so huge because, you know, listen, you got one video of a guy getting bit by a shark. That is the literal personification of the phrase, if it bleeds, it leads. It's gonna have hundreds of millions of views, and you're gonna wanna never go in the water again because some guy in some area of the world got bit by a shark, you know? And I have always found that it's not as bad as people tend to make it out to be. I've found that throughout my whole life. Don't go to China, it's scary. Don't move to Las Vegas, you're not gonna make it. Don't try and be a small business owner, it's not gonna work. Don't quit the normal firefighting job, Matt, because, you know, you're going on to something uncertain. Don't get rid of your business, Matt, in China. You worked so hard for it. What are you gonna do? Traveling YouTube, it's too difficult. You're not gonna be able to do it. You're not gonna be able to make money and be a successful person out of it. My life has been defined by optimism over pessimistic situations. And I've always been pleasantly surprised with the actions. And this is another thing. I'm not like thinking that bad things will never happen, right? I feel like we all have sort of a bank of currency, like positive vibe currency, sort of. I have pressed against pessimistic situations, doing what I want to do, and had them turn out positive. Every time that happens, I feel like I get a little check mark. And I have a lot of stored positive moments that could have been negative, but because I had a certain attitude or a certain optimism, they turned out positive. These are all instances that happened because I put myself out there. If I continued to have a sort of a neutral or a pessimistic attitude, wouldn't have happened in the first place. So they're like 100% positive moments. I have so many of those saved up that I understand if something bad happens, you know, worst case scenario stuff, you know, what if somebody swipes my trike? God, that would be the worst, right? But I don't think that's gonna happen. But if that does happen, it means I gotta dive into my bank account and look at the whole grand picture and say, how many amazing things have happened in my life so far? How many amazing opportunities have I had because I've had a positive attitude and I've made negatives into positives? And all right, let's see. So hopefully I'm on the right road here. I haven't really checked. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna go straight here. Cross over. It's like this road was built just for me. What was I saying? Basically, I can look at the situation that my life has been in so far and say, you know what? I'm still on the positive. It's like investing $1 into a stock you're unsure about. It turns out to be an amazing windfall. And then something crashes, a market crashes or something, and you lose maybe a quarter of your value. But you're still up 3/4, you know? That's what you gotta think about, you know? The overall picture. I wonder if I'm on a road that's allowed with bikes. I don't know. But I like the fact the traffic's light. And I like the fact that the sun isn't beating down on me. You want to know something funny? if the sun was beating down on me, I'd say, wow, isn't it nice that the sun is out there? That is what turning a negative into a positive is all about. Looking at the sunny side even when the sun isn't out. I believe that traveling with a extremely optimistic attitude is critical to being a successful traveler. I have seen many travelers end up having, you know, a really negative attitude towards life. And I'm always confused about why they continue going. If you're on a path and you don't like that path, get off that path and go to another path. Anyways, that's my rant for today. The rest of the day will be the ride. But yeah, I have a ultra optimistic attitude, and it always does me a positive. You know, final note here, you can't control time. No control over time. And throughout that time, different things will happen to you that you have no control over. The only thing that you have control over in your entire life is your attitude towards what happens. So, and I'm not saying that you can't change the direction of your life, that's for sure. But there's no doubt things are going to happen. Some of those things are going to be good. Some of those things could be perceived as bad. It's up to you to perceive those bad things as good things. Matt's words of wisdom for today. Jayoe. Craziest thing just happened to me. It's around lunchtime, so I figured I should get some food in me and some drink. So I came upon a gas station on this highway, and I pulled the trike into the Quickie Mart area of the gas station, cashier lady area. As I was walking in, a car pulled up for gas. So the attendant, that was the only one working at the time, left to the checkout counter and walked outside to take care of the gas. In China, everything's full service. I start shopping around for what I want to get, waiting for the lady to finish fueling up and come on in and take care of me. I got a coffee and water and a bag of chips. I was really thirsty and I could see that she was still gassing up the car, so I started drinking the water, taking my time. I finished the water. She's still not there. I have cash in hand, like cash money. She's still not there. So I'm like, well, I'll take out the money. I calculated how much it was gonna cost, and I'm waiting at the checkout, and I'm like, ah, hell, I'm hungry. I open up the chips. I think, well, by the time she comes in, I can pay and get on the road. I didn't even have to wait and eat the chips. So I start eating the chips. I'm about halfway through the bag of chips. These guys who had just had their car filled up, or was filling up, come inside. Start picking stuff off the shelf, stuff they want, stuff, you know, some munchies and things like that. And they see the trike, ha ha ha, Jayoe, all that stuff, it's fine. I'm sitting there with my open bag of chips, my empty water bottle, and my little coffee in the pay-for area. Hello. In the pay-for area, the little kid's running. They put their stuff in front of mine. No, the lady comes in, I says, ni hao, and I'm kind of like making myself known. In China, the squeaky wheel typically gets the grease. She comes in and she starts ringing up these other guys. And I said, 对不起, 为什么? I said, excuse me, why? Why you, what, I waited here 10 minutes. She's like, they have a car outside that's got gas. I don't give a fuck about their car. I've been waiting here. I have cash in hand. No. I said, well, booming by. I says, I don't understand. And so she said, there's a car outside. This is the guy's car. We just fueled him up. We're a gas station. You don't mean shit. I says, no problem if they want to pay for their gas, but after me. Man, I was so confused. So the guys leave. They don't really understand what they just got ahead of me, so they don't give two shits about my beef. And so I'm sitting there with the lady, and I said, 为什么我在这里等10分钟? I waited here 10 minutes. 然后 then 你给他这个帮他 then you help them. She says, and he blew me by, you don't understand? I says, what blew me by? She says, I said, I don't understand. I said, well, there, you see the car out there? She said in Chinese. I says, I don't give a fuck about that car. I was waiting. Normally, I don't have any dealings with customer service like that. They're just like, whoever's in front of the line, I take care of, whoever's behind. That was very strange. Whatever. But I walked out. The guys who were sitting in front of me were waiting for me to come out, go figure, because they wanted to take pictures of me and the trike. So I just had to make sure to swallow that pessimism, swallow that anger, let the optimism shine through, and just enjoy it. I lost 5 minutes of my life. Who cares? Another couple rode up in the time that I was delayed, and they were really nice. He ended up talking in front of the gas station. They spoke a little English. And if I had not been delayed by those guys, I would not have had the opportunity to talk to them. They took a bunch of pictures. They're gonna share Jayoe to the world in their own little way. So, it's okay. Hey guys, today we are riding to the Vietnamese border. I think I'm gonna cross over to Vietnam today. And I'd like to make that an experience house within its own episode of the vlog. So I'm gonna end today. It was long enough. I talked and droned on. Drone? Did you like the drones? I'm trying to do some drone stuff so that my droning isn't just droning. There's droning and then droning. So I'm gonna end this episode. Look for the next episode of me crossing, hopefully with no problems, into Vietnam. Drone in hand. Well, not in hand. I have some ideas for that. I'll show you in the next episode how I'm protecting my drone. Because there's news and buzz that they will confiscate my drone as I cross into the border. So hopefully no. If you like what you see here, share it with other travelers and share my message of optimism. Comment below about how optimism has helped you or hindered you. I'd be interested to hear. Other than that, like, subscribe, share. There's a join button below if you wanted to join on YouTube. You get a bunch of little interesting perks, or if you want to support my tour through Patreon, I got links below for that as well. So stay optimistic, Jayoe, and I will catch you later.